Hello everyone and welcome back to another Theme Park Obsession video. My name is Dylan and thank you so much for tuning back into the channel. If you're new here and you love theme park related content, feel free to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so stay up to date on every time I post new videos. In today's video, we're going to talk about my 5 bucket list coasters that I've been dying to go on and are on the top of the list for sure. I have so many coasters that I want to go on, but we're going to start off with just these 5 in particular. Starting off with Voyage at Holiday World. This coaster opened up in 2006 and it was the park's 60th anniversary gift, which is awesome. And look at that first drop, there it goes. After this first drop, the course is just, it looks so much fun. The airtime on this ride is supposed to be incredible, and the ride's pretty unique too. It has a lot of underground tunnel moments, and then there's a spaghetti bowl portion in the back when you kind of venture further down into the woods. And on top of that, this is one of the longest wooden roller coasters in the world. That alone, it just makes me want to go on it. I love long coasters. I love that this one is unique to its terrain, and this one just doesn't let up. There is a bit of a trim section on this ride. It's going to be coming up here in just a second. I think when the ride opened, they didn't trim it, but they've trimmed it since. I think it's just because of particular reasons beyond our control. But yeah, see, like right here, it kind of slows down a little bit. But yeah, these underground tunnels are so fun, and the ride layout is just really unique to the area, like I said. So this is definitely on the top of my list of coasters that I'd love to go on. Hopefully soon one day make a trip out there to Holiday World, because Holiday World not only just has these great coasters, but they have a bunch of other fantastic rides. Next up is probably one of the most iconic roller coasters in the entire industry, in my opinion. It's Millennium Force at Cedar Point in Ohio. This one opened up in 2000, and it was the first Giga coaster in the entire world. And then for those that don't know what a Giga coaster is, it's a coaster that goes over 300 feet or breaks that 300-foot mark. You can tell by this first drop coming up here. Look at that. That is such a great first drop. This ride goes over 90 miles an hour, so you are hauling butt on this coaster. And it was so iconic because of the record breaker, but it definitely paved the way for the rest of the coasters after it as well. This also features a magnetic braking system, and a lot of coasters now feature a magnetic braking system, but Millennium Force is one of the first coasters to have that. So it definitely was a game changer as far as how these coasters are manufactured. This coaster is really not about a bunch of different elements, it's just the speed. As you can see, the layout's not that crazy, but I think being on it, going over 90 miles an hour through most of its course is just exhilarating in itself. You don't need all those crazy loops or crazy transitions. You just need a solid coaster. I think that's what Millennium Force is, and it's definitely on the top of my list. Next up for me is El Toro at Six Flags Great Adventure in New Jersey. This is a beast of a coaster, and it was designed by Intamin. And what's cool is not too many people know this. Rocky Mountain Construction actually built this ride. It was designed by Intamin, and then Intamin spoke to the peeps at Rocky Mountain Construction and said, hey, can you do this for us? And of course they said yes. So I wonder if this can count as the first ever Rocky Mountain coaster. And you can tell it's definitely got those Rocky Mountain vibes. I don't know if they've really designed it or helped Intamin design this coaster, but look at this. This looks so much fun. The unique train design for this wood coaster, and you could tell just by the way this video it looks incredibly smooth, and from people that I've talked to, they've said it's really smooth. There's really no jerkiness at all, and I don't think there's anything really to complain about this ride. I think there's plenty of airtime. It looks like there's plenty of airtime. It looks like it hauls butt. I think it goes a little over 70 miles an hour, and of course that first drop is just so iconic. That little moment right there, that airtime hill, looks fantastic. Very unique layout, and of course it has a beautiful backdrop of the park. El Toro seems like a pretty solid coaster, and that's why it's been at the top of my list as well as far as bucket list coasters before I go. Now over at Kings Island, just a hop, skip, and a jump from Cedar Point, sits Banshee. Banshee is a B&M invert coaster. It's one of the longest in the world, I think the longest in the world actually, and it was a huge investment to the park, one of the biggest investments to the park actually. This is a huge coaster. It's not a tiny invert. It's not like Batman at Magic Mountain or Goliath at Six Flags Fiesta Texas. This one's pretty massive, and its elements are fantastic. I think the layout is what really draws me to this ride, and its sheer speed. I mean, this ride goes 70 miles an hour, so it's not slow for sure. I do love how unique it is as far as like where it's traveling in its course. And like I said, the elements, like the inversions on this are so massive that I don't know, it sets it apart from so many others. And we don't really have a lot of invert coasters here in America, so it's nice that, you know, Kings Island decided to go, you know what, let's do one let's go big or go home. You know, let's definitely go big or go home, because the coaster that used to be in its spot was Son of Beast, but that obviously plagued the park with so many issues, and you know, they wanted to do something else that was a good record breaker, and I think this is a good fit. Now finally on my list is another Intamin behemoth, and it's at Kings Dominion in Virginia. This is Intimidator 305. It's 305 feet tall, and it reaches speeds of over 90 miles an hour. This is a giga coaster like Millennium Force, but I think this one would probably rank higher once I ride it than Millennium Force. And this is just the reason why it's at the top of my bucket list as far as coasters to hopefully do very, very soon. This ride looks so intense. It's so intense, in fact, that people pass out on this ride quite often. And they've had to alter this turn. Right here in the video, you see that hard right-hand turn up into the first hill. That had to be altered. And in this video, it wasn't. This is an older video from the park. But it was so forceful that that turn alone would cause people to pass out. And then just all the twisty moments in the ride like that. You see that, how quick that transition was? It looks so intense. And that alone, it just gives me a reason. I need to do it. I just have to do this ride. It's been on the top of the list, and it looks so smooth. Overall, it looks like a solid coaster. It looks like a solid giga coaster. It's not something that looks boring. I think overall, this would be fun from start to finish. And the ascent up to the first, you know, drop, is probably going to be so just intimidating. Like it's going to be fun. But yeah, so those are my top 5 coasters as far as my bucket list coasters are concerned. What are your bucket list coasters? Go ahead and comment down below. I'd love to spark up a conversation on what some of your favorite coasters or must ride coasters are. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit the thumbs up button. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you're new to the channel and you love theme park videos, which I have plenty on the channel, feel free to hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you stay up to date on every time I post a new video. I have an Instagram account at Theme Park Obsession. Be sure to follow that because sometimes I post content there that I don't normally post here on the channel. So jump over to Instagram and press that follow button. But other than that, I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.